Eliott, come.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. We can see you and we can hear you. How are you, my
Great.
man?
I'm very good.
I have to ask you this, all right? Watching that film, incredible what you're able to accomplish, the determination, the focus in your heart, your mind. But when you watch yourself, are you amazed by what you've been able to do, or are you just like, oh yeah, easy, easy, next challenge?
No, but I think this is maybe the thousandth time I've seen this movie, so now I cannot see my face anymore, but I still enjoy watching it because I like to see my horse, Robert, and I never get tired of seeing his beautiful face. So I'm very always happy to see this movie because it reminds me so much great moments in those mountains. So, but I know it was hard. So I never watch this movie or think about this expedition as a easy thing to do. It was a very amazing, hard expedition that I realized in the Himalayas. Yeah.
Absolutely. Eliott, we have a few questions that came from the audience. I hope it's okay to ask you these, make this a little bit conversational. You brought up the beautiful face of your horse, Robert, and someone said, how is Robert doing? Do you know?
I know it's kind of hard to get some news because Naran, the guy who I sold it to and who is the new master of Robert, is living in a very remote place. But maybe every 2 or 3 months he managed to go to a village and he sent me a text or stuff like this. And I had the last time I heard from him was maybe 2 months ago. And he's doing very great. He took his retreat. He's not working anymore, and he made a lot of yak friends. So he has like those big Himalayan cows with a lot of hair.
Yeah.
He made a bunch of friends of this animal. So he's doing pretty good.
That is pretty good. Actually, no connection to your story, but earlier today I was on Instagram and I watched a whole flock of yak in the Himalayas. I didn't even know you were going to say that, but I was watching because they are massive beasts. They're huge.
Yes.
I'm trying to imagine Robert hanging out with some yaks. That's pretty incredible. So the next question that comes in is, how do you prepare for your adventures and your expeditions? What exactly do you do?
It's kind of hard to prepare it before leaving, before being on the ground, because where I used to live in Paris, I mean, it's even on the internet, I'm going to places where very few people are going, so it's very difficult to get information. So the main preparation before the expedition is just looking at maps. So I can spend like whole night looking at Google Earth just to get some to be more familiar with the ground, with the mountains, or maybe I can walk around here, or maybe this path is doable, etc., etc. And so this is maybe half of the work I'm doing, and actually the other half I'm preparing when I'm getting there. Like I'm asking information about the people I'm meeting during the trip, because I mean those people are living there, so they know better than anyone if this pass is doable, if my horse can go there and stuff like this. But there's a lot of improvisation. So improvisation, and I'm preparing it while I'm living it. So if I meet people, I will ask them information, and this is how I'm doing my trip. So yeah, like the preparation before is not that huge. It's mainly map looking and stuff like this.
So part of it is preparation, just getting yourself familiar. Part of it is being curious and constantly asking questions, learning, and some of it is just being present, observing, seeing what's possible, what's not, and learning as you do it. Because in some ways, you don't know the adventure you're going to have, right? You cannot plan the details of this.
For example, there's a river I'm going on like this tire air stuff that I'm going down the river on this weird boat, and just before I knew that it was going to be possible, because I arrived to this village and I asked people, do you think it's possible for me to go down the river and half of the village people said no, and the other half said yes. So I just listened to the other half, and I just did it, and it worked. So so this is what I'm talking about when I say there's a bit of improvisation.
Nice. Very good. Now, a few people have asked this next question, and I wondered the same thing. So they call themselves Alaska, but I said, Eliott, thank you for sharing this exceptionally awesome experience with us. How are you dealing with being back in civilization? And someone earlier said, how does an adventurer like you deal with lockdown? So answer either way. When you're out in the wild and you now have to be in these urban areas, does it feel weird? And if you're used to being free outside, does it feel weird to be in lockdown?
It does, but like I made some radical change in my life since the beginning of all this, actually, because I used to live in a very, very small flat studio in Paris next to the Périphérique. The Périphérique it's a huge road that go all around Paris, so I could see all these cars all around me. And since 1 year ago now, I went to the Alps in the mountains, and I found a little house without electricity, without current water. So there's like a small stream or a small river in the like crossing the field. And now actually I'm at my neighbors because I don't get electricity to my house when I'm living now. So this is how I can speak with you, because now I'm not really living into the civilization anymore, and I'm kind of trying to live the way I'm living in the expedition, but like every day. So it's not exactly the same because I'm staying to the same spot, so I can build stuff and I can, it's more comfortable. But yeah, the idea is kind of living the way I'm living in the expedition, so in the wild, and learn how to make stuff by yourself with your hands, and I like it. So that's what's going on.
There are a few more questions about the minimalist lifestyle that I'm going to ask, but there's also a request. They said, Eliott, can you give us some greetings in French? Because we have a huge French community here, and it's cool that we're all watching. So, en français, s'il vous plaît, something in French.
Ben, merci pour poser cette question, parce que je suis bien plus à l'aise à parler en français. Et voilà, j'espère que le film vous a plu et que les prochains vous plairont. Mais merci, merci pour tous vos retours et voilà. Et bisous de moi et Robert.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, about the minimalism, we do have some questions about that. One question is about the food. Did you have to train to reduce your eating habits before you started Le Minimaliste?
I did exactly the opposite. Like I hate sports, so I never train physically before leaving to an expedition. The only physical exercise I'm doing is eating the most I can. So I'm eating so much cake, so much everything you can find in a fridge to get bigger before leaving to the expedition, because I want to have some kilos to lose, because I know I'm going to lose some kilos. So yeah, besides eating a lot of cake, there's not so much training physically.
Okay. That's interesting. It's not the answer I thought you were going to give, but I like the honest answer.
I'm not sure it's the best way to do it, actually, but this is how I've been doing it for 7 years, and it's all right.
And it's working.
My body manages. Yeah.
The next question is why do it minimalist? Like, some people try to do these things as fast as possible. Some people try to do it as many times as possible. Some people try to do it solo. Some people try to do it as a team. Like, there's many ways you can challenge yourself. But why the minimalist challenge? Why is that close to your heart?
It's just something that it's an idea that I have been evaluating in my head. Like, the first real expedition I realized was in Mongolia, and in Mongolia half of the population is nomadic people, so they live by themselves, like they are autonomous people, like they have so much freedom, and because they know how to do everything by themselves, they make their own food, their own clothes, their own shelter, everything. I mean, they don't need anything from the rest of the world because they know how to do it. And it was the first time in my life that I was discovering this, because before meeting them, I thought everybody were living like me in the city and in civilization. And this discovery really opened my mind, and for me it was like becoming free again. If you don't need a huge structure and industry and so much stuff to be able to live, if you can manage to get rid of this from your life and manage to take care of your own and learn how to, to connect with nature and learn how to live with nature because we're part of it. I think it's just it's something that makes me happy, and it's something that seems to me very great and like how the world should be like, because I think this wall that we put between civilization and human is really an illusion, and this illusion is very dangerous. So the goal and the sense I kind of gave to my life, and so to this expedition too, is to try to come back on Earth. And meaning that I mean like trying to learn how to live in this amazing planet again, because I have the feeling that a lot of humans actually lost all their connection with this planet. So and like they're living like we are on another planet. So my goal during this expedition and during my life is to try to get back on Earth, because I think it's a fantastic place to be, and yeah, I really like it.
Absolutely. And you know what's interesting, Eliott, about reconnecting with nature? So obviously I fly around the world as part of my job. I stay in nice hotels. My little sister, she lives in Ecuador with her fiance, and they have the opposite life. All their art, they make themselves. All the furniture, they make themselves. Everything that they have is completely in appreciation and celebration of the nature around them. And I think that's so good to be connected to the earth, as you were saying, and to recognize that we are part of it, and not just to abuse it or to use it. I also think that for some reason the Western world has sold us to this lie of consume, consume, consume. The more you consume, the better you are. The more you have, the more you're moving up. And I think the whole minimalism trend is actually healthy. Like you said, you like the challenge. You want to figure out, okay, there's no Wi-Fi here. Who can I talk to? What human can I connect? What friendship can I make to try to get some Wi-Fi? Or, I want to be able to create something. And you do that with your creativity, not by just, I need money, I buy something. I need some more money, I buy something else. So I think from that point of view also, it's good to come back to our roots.
Yes, this is, I mean, definitely the goal of everything. And something I've learned meeting those people who are, for me, the last people who really know how to live this planet again. I mean, like nomadic people, hunter and gatherer, all these people I met during my trips and expedition. People living in Alaska with their snow dogs and going hunting and fishing. And what I've learned with those people in Mongolia, Alaska, Himalayas, Amazonia, etc., is maybe before I was living in those expeditions, I have this maybe this misanthropia feeling. I don't know how you say it in English, but the feeling that, oh my God, human is really a weird species, and not really a good one, because they're destroying everything that's living on Earth.
Precisely.
So that was kind of my idea. And meeting those people, I realized that humans are not the problem as a species. I mean, we've been living on this planet for millions of years, and there's never been the kind of problems we're living now. So what it means, it's a way of life, it's a way of thinking, which is called, for me, civilization, that are making us this people destroying planet. But it's not in our nature to destroy nature. And I realized that by meeting humans who know how to live respectfully and in harmony with what's around them. And so for me, it's a very hopeful discovery that I made, because human is not the problem. I think the problem is the way humans are living and how we made those society become possible. So there's also way of life that that are possible and that would make us reconcile again with all living thing on Earth. And so I think this is pretty helpful. I mean, there's a lot of work, but this is helpful.
Restoring our faith in humanity. So one more question for you, Eliott. One final question. A lot of people are asking, what's next? What's next? What's your next project? Do you have any ideas?
So after Himalaya, I did another expedition, which I came back maybe 1 year ago, and it was in the Amazonian jungle. And because I discovered the jungle, weirdly, it was in Himalayas. I didn't know I was going really to discover the jungle, but as you see it in the film, as soon as you climb down the mountains, you end up in the jungle. And I thought the jungle were amazing. So I decided when I came back to France that I wanted to plan my next expedition in Amazonia. So I did this for last summer. I did this, so it was a 3-month expedition, and I hope I'll be able to show you the movie one day, because the movie is done, and it was the craziest expedition I've done in my life. And now my next project would be to, there's some scientists in Norway that made a study about Arctic fox, and they put a necklace with a
collar,
something, a collar, so they could see to track them exactly. So after the beginning of the study, they checked the computer to see where the fox were, and all the foxes were very close from the beginning of the study, maybe 100 kilometers, except one fox, a female fox, who ended up in Canada. So she did like 4,000 kilometers in 64 days, and my goal is to do the exact same route from Norway to Canada.
That's amazing. Yeah. We're going to put a collar on you, Eliott, and no, you can just take a film crew with you. But hey, my man, thank you for helping us restore our faith in humanity, and also thank you for showing us the beauty of adventure. So take care, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.